we serve a God who's creative. So why do we always box him in? I don't understand. Different genres glorify him the same way. Worship doesn't glorify God as much as jazz does. If you're singing jazz and you're singing worship, God is pleased with both as long as your heart is the same. As long as your heart is spirit and truth, he is glorified. There's people who will never listen to worship, but they'll listen to Sunday's music though. They'll listen to Anatori's music, but they'll never step foot in the church. So we need to be intentional about calling those people in, as well as intentional about building people in the church. That's what I think. Ministry is about people. So for me, ministry is not just about the music. The music is just a byproduct. Like the people and capturing them for Jesus is why I'm doing this. When I got my parents' blessing, it was the most beautiful thing, man, because they just prayed for me and they said, yeah, man, as you do this, God is with you. And bro, ever since then, fireworks, man. Nigerians are everywhere to start with. So
you guys are all over, man. It's like white on rice. You guys are...
Trust me. Deep down in our parents' mind, they want you to start looking after them as soon as possible. Like, let's just be honest. So
we are their retirement plan, man.
Facts. I remember I would get booked for events and they're like, okay, do you have a DJ? And I'm like, bro, no, I have a guitar. Like, I don't understand what this is. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not a rapper. If you see me on the street, if you see me in a shop, in a food store, please come say hi, because you're making my day more than you think.
Yo, what's up, good people, man? First, thank you so much for always joining us for the DJ Mo's podcast. We do not take it for granted, man. I'm always excited to be able to have wonderful guests joining me for conversations. People who are known, other people who are not known, but they are known in their circles. And, just being able to have genuine, honest conversations with them. So, man, as you continue digging in and enjoying the podcast, we'd like to encourage you to go ahead and support us, man. This is only possible through your love and through your support. Pray for us. Talk about us, but then also you can go ahead and, go a step further and support us financially. And you can do that by, our account number and the till number. They're all, is it till number? No, the pay bill number and the account numbers iko hapa hivi, si ndio? Please do go ahead and support us financially, because this encourages us, it allows us to be able to pay our bills and to continue hooking you up with more great content, si ndio? Thank you so much for your love. In the meantime, man, let's continue in our conversations today hapa hivi on the DJ Mo's podcast. First, let me say it's really nice to have you joining me on the podcast today.
No worries, I got you, man. Thanks for having me. So good.
So, you are probably one of the forefront, Afrobeat, gospel artists that we've had from the continent, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
very kind. Yeah.
I remember when I was introduced to your music a couple of years ago. Is it Love Around?
Yes, Love Around.
Yeah, that was such a dope jam.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So CalledOut, man. First, let's, for the guys who are watching the podcast or listening to it, let's do some, real quick introductions. If you could just go ahead and introduce yourself. I know CalledOut Music is not your original name, but yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Samuel Nwachukwu. I'm Nigerian. I'm British-Nigerian. I'm a musician. I'm also an accountant by I guess trade, or accountant by education. And I love the Lord. That's it. I don't know if there's any more to say. I'm Igbo, actually. And when I was in Nairobi a few years ago, they told me about, there's quite a bit of an Igbo. Nigerians are everywhere to start with. So
you guys are all over, man. It's like white on rice. You guys are...
Trust me. So they told me there's quite a bit of an Igbo population, and funny enough, some Swahili names kind of sound Igbo, which is interesting. So it's just seeing the little similarities there was like, oh, that was quite nice to see. But yeah, that's a bit about me.
That's what's up, man. So do you ever practice accounting? Like, I would have never put you with accounts together.
Yeah, man. No, I haven't done since I left uni. If I say unfortunately, I was going to say fortunately, I haven't. But I know enough to get by. Does that make sense? Because when you don't practice something, it leaves you. So, I haven't practiced it at all. But it is what it is, man. God has a plan. So
that's what's up. So, were you born in Nigeria?
Yes, born in Nigeria. Lived there for 12 years. Moved to the UK. I've been here now for 18 years. So
that's what's up,
it's man. Like I feel British Nigerian. I feel half and half.
Yeah.
which is good. I don't mind that at all.
So do you have a struggle, between, who do you identify with more?
That's the thing. So I'm Nigerian. I identify as a Nigerian man. Being British is just out of location, out
Yeah.
of, of course, the culture has given me so much that, both cultures help in a sense. There's some things about Nigeria that I'll never get here. There's some things
Yes.
about here that I may never get in Nigeria, well, at the moment. But I think being British Nigerian gives me the best of both worlds, I believe. And I think it's helped me to see different cultures.
Yeah.
Because you're a product of your environment. So any environment that I step into, if I'm in Nigeria, I feel at home. If I'm in the UK, I feel at home. If by God's grace in a few years I move to the US, I'll hope to feel at home. But it's all learning the best of each culture, leaving the negatives is where it's at. So if I come to Nairobi over the next 5 years and you start seeing me just chilling in Nairobi, don't ask questions. I'm just trying to feel at home. That's how it is,
The good thing is you look like one of us, so you'll just
Do
blend in.
I? That's hilarious. That's dope, man.
You'll just blend in easily, man. So, I'm just wondering, from, going to university, studying accounts, and then you end up doing music. Your parents are Nigerian, and I know how African parents are when it comes to education. They're like, you don't mess around with education, and you want to get into this industry that's, that's not, our parents look at it as though it's not one that's reliable to sustain an income,
Of course.
How did that go for you?
I mean, you already know, man. There's this, there was moments where they were kind of not fearful, but worried. I think every parent wants their kid to be okay. And I think I've started to see a different side to my parents the older that I get. They just want you to be fine. They just, because deep down in our parents' mind, they want you to start looking after them as soon as possible. Like, let's just be honest. So
we had their retirement plan, man.
Facts. So I think my parents were just like, man, like, so you want to do music? Do you want to get married? Do you want to have a good job? Or you want to get a house? And
there
for
goes
them,
our pension.
Exactly. They maybe didn't see a way where this music thing can do that. But the world has changed because now you have people making YouTube videos who are earning more than some CEOs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. The world has changed, man. So I think the world started to change during that sort of 2015, 2018 type of era where people were realizing, man, like, you can do whatever you want and put a price tag on it and people will buy it as long as it's good content. So I had to convince my parents and show them that, this thing could work because they just see results. When I could show them the results, I think I was working full time, but I was still touring on the weekends.
Yeah.
So when they started to see that it was really stressful for me, but they could see that the music started bringing in some sort of income, they were like, okay, now go for it. And when I got my parents' blessing, it was the most beautiful thing, man, because they just prayed for me and they said, yeah, man, as you do this, God is with you. And bro, ever since then, fireworks, man.
That's fantastic, man. And you are based in the UK, and so my wife is British as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So and from the opportunities that we've had to travel and just engaging with the guys in the UK, I'm like, it's a very secular country.
Yeah.
Extremely secular, thinking
Absolutely.
that they brought the faith to us, and then they've gone like,
and they left it.
and they left it as we are embracing it. How easy is it when it comes to the penetration of gospel music, especially urban gospel music? Yeah.
Bro, it's difficult. I think when I first started in the UK, to be fair, before I started, there was a whole movement of rappers. There were rappers were doing it big. I mean, like selling out concerts, headlining everywhere. So I'm talking Faith Child.
Are these like gospel rappers?
Yeah, gospel rappers. Yeah, so they were doing it big. They were like collabing with secular artists. So what you're seeing in the States with like Lecrae and all these cats and Hovey, they were doing it here.
So who is this? Like Dwayne Triumph?
Dwayne Triumph, Governor B. You have Vic Tizzle, Faith Child, Triple O.
Yeah.
So those are the guys, like those five especially, like left a mark, and that was for a span of like 8 years. So in the UK, whenever you thought about gospel music, you thought about rap because they were killing it. And then from like 2014 to 2016, there was a few things happening, but it was a bit dead. And then when we started in 2016, I was like, hold on a second. I don't see anyone like me who's a singer or who wants to sing. I remember I would get booked for events and they're like, okay, do you have a DJ? And I'm like, bro, no, I have a guitar. Like, I don't understand what this is. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not a rapper. And it was so hard to let people see that. They see a young black male and they just assume, yes, he's rapping. And it was like, no. Like, I'm singing, I'm writing my own music. And that's the other thing in the UK as well. You have a lot of worship leaders. People who are gifted to stand on the stage and lead you in worship, but people who, I remember I would go on stages and I'll be like, hey guys, can you sit down? And everyone's like, wait, what's going on? And like, no, sit down. I want to sing my songs to you. And I pray it blesses you. Bro, the landscape was so crazy. And that's why that's such a good question, because people don't realize, because now people see the UK. We've got myself, we've got Becca Fox, we've got Anatoria, we've got Limo, we've got all these people killing it.
Yes.
There was a point in time where it was just myself. I mean, myself and Becca Fox were the only ones for a very long time. Yeah. And then now it's but you need people to break something for other people to now start flowing. Now we've got Shireen, we've got Asha Elia, we've got so many cold artists.
I've been following up, in what's happening in the gospel scene in the UK. And especially because, I work with an organization that intentionally reaches out to young people, and we use music as our tool of influence.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
So when you're talking about doing Triumph and Governor B and Vic Teasel, I used to play them on television and, on my radio shows.
Right.
And I'll never forget, doing Triumph when he was featured by Lecrae on the song Don't Waste Your Life. Like, he murdered that track, man.
Yeah, crazy.
Those guys, and they were also featured by, I don't know if you remember, a group called Cross Movement from the US.
No,
I don't.
This is like
actually. Back in the day. These are like the guys who were holding it down for the gospel music circles at that time. Yeah. And so how do you feel like now, with with the flow of the urban gospel music and the response of the young people? Do you see young people now being drawn more and more to the faith in the UK, or is there still I'm sure there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, always work to be done, man. But I think it's a lot better. I think each generation has their thing as well. I do believe, like in, say, Gov and Faith's generation, they went out a lot. They went concert going a lot.
Yes.
Now the generation is a bit more worship nighty than concerty. Yeah. Because I've just sensed that there's a bit of a shift in like young people wanting, not like the concert goers, because I think God is so big that we cannot even box him. So God can show up in a rap song the same way he can show up in a Theophilus Sunday song. You know what I mean? Like he's that good, he's that big. But I believe that people's tastes change from generation to generation. So even in my day, a bit of that was, I actually don't mind going to a concert, but now it feels more worship nighty, which means that the artists are probably suffering a bit more. Do you know what I mean? So the artists maybe feel like they have to,
because the sound is different.
The sound is different. Now it's like, give me pads, give me strings, give me cymbals, wash it in, that kind of thing. Whereas artists just want to make great music that glorifies Jesus. Yeah. But maybe the appetite isn't as much there, which is why part of my reason when I was coming for this tour, I spoke to all the organizers in each city. I said, look, I want an artist. I want to pick my own artist to open up on the night, but I don't want my artist to be a worship team. Yes. Or a worship leader. I want somebody who can say, sit down, I wrote a song, I want to bless you. Yeah. Or sit down, I've done a cover of a song you already know, but it sounds different. Creativity, man. Like, yes. We serve a God who's creative. So why do we always box him in? I don't understand. Like, different genres glorify him the same way. Worship doesn't glorify God as much as jazz does. If you're singing jazz and you're singing worship, God is pleased with both as long as your heart is the same. As long as your heart is spirit and truth, he is glorified. So I think we need to start breaking down these barriers of, when is worship? That means, yes, I'm soaking, I'm in the presence of God, I'm in deep. And when you're jumping and shouting and rapping, it's God is not glorified. What? Like, it's all worship, because worship is about the heart. So if your heart position is spirit and truth, God must be glorified in my life. Guess what? God is dancing in heaven. He is bopping in heaven. He is with you. Like, so in the space in the UK, my only cry, that's why Anatoria excites me. That's why an artist called Sunday excites me. These guys are creating music. Laura Ehio is another one. There's another guy called Obed. These are artists going against the status quo to say, look, I'm an artist and I don't need to be a worship leader, And if they in some way want to lead worship at any point, of course they can. But
They can.
I think there's something beautiful about creating good art, because there's people who will never listen to worship, but they'll listen to Sunday's music though.
Yeah.
They'll listen to Anatori's music, but they'll never step foot in the church.
Yeah.
So we need to be intentional about calling those people in, as well as intentional about building people in the church. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. And I like that. But for us, it's also how we box God, and we assume that, God can only listen to this can only be worshipped with this kind of music. Yeah. So yesterday I was listening to, an artist whom I love his music. He's called Ambassador. And these are the guys who molded my faith. He was in that group called the Cross Movement. And he has a song called My Clothes, My Hair. So basically it's like, if God sees my clothes, my hair, will he reject me because of how I dress? And he asks a question in that song where he says, what makes you think, and he uses an iPod at that time because it's back in the day, but what makes you think that God's iTunes or Spotify, if he had something like that, does not have any hip hop?
Facts.
With it.
Yeah.
So I must say that I really do appreciate, that you are breaking the ceiling. And speaking of which, one of the things that you've definitely been appreciated for and celebrated about was, I saw that you also got to win a MOBO award.
Yes. Oh, wow. That was a while back.
But that's a big deal, though.
It's huge.
It's a while back, but it's a big deal.
Yeah, man, it is huge. Yeah, that was a moment. I thank God for that, man.
How did you feel? I mean, you're going for, and maybe for the guys who are listening to the podcast, they don't know what MOBO is, music of black origin. How big a deal is this in the UK?
So a MOBO is like a Grammy, basically.
Yes.
A MOBO is like a Grammy, or akin to like something between a Stellar Award and a Grammy, like that kind of
magnitude. Yeah.
It's a big deal. It's actually a big deal, and to tell you how much of a big deal it is actually. So before I was nominated, I didn't have a blue tick on my IG, bro. I was nominated. I didn't win it. I was nominated, and the next morning I woke up and I saw a blue tick next to my name. So I was like,
man,
yeah, that's how huge it is. Like, it can literally take you like places. But I'm so grateful for awards, and I think I've been blessed to win so many like incredible ones. But I also know that God has given me a perspective on them, which is like, especially because what I'm doing is Christian, and it's to glorify Jesus. I take awards with two hands. Don't get me wrong. I'm not about to say that, awards don't. No. It's good. It's good, like, to have earthly credibility for a godly gift.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good thing. So don't turn your noses up at awards. If you get invited to an award show, go to it, celebrate it. Like, go meet people. That's another way to do ministry.
Yeah.
And even when winning the award, still point people to who it's about. Like, that's ministry for me,
Yeah.
But I think I'd never let the mobile. So that's when you said mobile, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, of course. But because I don't want to be walking, carrying it, like, hey, mobile award winner coming through your local grocery store. I want to
walk around with a t-shirt that says, I'm kind of a big deal.
But yeah, man, it's amazing how God has used all these things to actually deepen my faith, man. Like, in winning all these things, I'm like, wow, God, like you really took this small kid from Kaduna, Nigeria. Well, I'm actually from Anambra State, but I lived in the north. I live in Kaduna. You took this guy from Kaduna, Nigeria, and brought him to the mobile stage. That is crazy. Like, you're good, man. You're a good God.
Yeah. And if you just look back in your life, as you're saying, from Kaduna, Nigeria, and to where you are right now, influencing young people all over the world with your music, man. Would you ever?
Nah, man, not at all. I only, I even thought this thing wouldn't happen now. I thought that I would do music when I retire from like work. So I thought maybe I'll be 35, 36, maybe 40. And then start doing music, because I wanted to provide for my family. And I didn't think music could provide for my family. And when I started in uni, I had zero idea that I would be here talking about, hey, I'm coming to Nairobi, come get your tickets. What?
Yeah.
Dude, do you know how like how many people want to do music full time? Just period.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm doing music full time, by the special grace of God, I'm comfortable, I'm married, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I get to do this thing for a living, which is just because ministry is about people. So
Yeah.
for me, ministry is not just about the music. The music is just a byproduct. Like the people and capturing them for Jesus is why I'm doing this. So
Yeah.
to get to do that for a living, man, I don't know what greater calling there is, man. Do you know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
I'm blessed.
And it's something you love. It's something you love,
Yeah.
You could have done it without being paid, but it actually works
Oh,
even
clean.
better when you appreciate it for it. And
Bro, I
now,
would have done this. I would have done this if you didn't offer me a penny. I would bite your
yeah,
finger off and do it. Yeah. So
yes. And now, you just mentioned that you are married and you've not been married for a long time as well.
no.
How
Yeah.
how you adjusting to, being married and, all the tours that you have to make because of, music is your full time. How's your wife taking it, man?
Hey man, hey, if my wife is listening to this, baby, I love you, man. Just my wife is adjusting. Do you know what?
Baptism by fire.
Bro, I feel like she's handled it so well, man. Like, do you know what? There's times where we're looking at our next month, and
Yeah.
sometimes I'm still managing my admin a bit better, and I know I forgot to put something in the calendar, and my wife is saying, "Oh, baby, so this weekend we're gonna do this," and in my mind I'm just going, Samuel, why did you forget? And she's like, "What's the matter?" I'm like, "I don't think I'm around," and it's just like, yay. But it's a 50-50. I think a part of me, I've had to kind of reduce the frequency,
Yeah.
which means doing more in bulk. So I'll go away for 2 weeks rather than go away for 2 days, come back, 2 days, come back. So I'll go away
Yeah.
for 2 weeks, do stuff. 3 weeks at a push, maybe do stuff. I don't want to be away from home for too long. So I was trying to figure all of that out. Whereas before, as a single guy, bro, tell me today, Samuel, let's
out.
go to Japan, bro. Clean, bro. I'll meet you at the airport, man. I will meet you there. Like, give me 30 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
But now, of course, she's my number one priority. That's the
Yeah,
truth.
man.
Like, after my faith in God, it's my wife, and then it's music. So, yeah,
Can I tell you what, man? I've been married for 16 years and I still make the same mistakes.
bro.
I won't put it in my diary, and then my wife is like, "Yeah, this Saturday we are going to," and I'm like, "Oh snap!
Yo,
I have a
it's
gig
real.
or."
It's so real. Do you know? But it's beautiful adjusting to it, because this is doing life with somebody, and
Yeah.
it's great that I married somebody who she's actually very self-sufficient. So it's not like when I'm
That's
away, she
good.
has nothing. Oh, bro, like it would have been very tough on her. Like she got tons of friends. Like, oh, when you're away, I'm gonna meet this. In fact, she has a whole tour. As I'm going for a tour, she has
go
a whole
for
tour in the UK. Oh, I'm gonna go London, Birmingham. I was like, okay, have fun, enjoy it. But it's great having to reprioritize actually, because I
Yeah.
think there was a level that at which I was doing this music thing that was a bit unhealthy. Like I had no work-life balance. It was every day 247 music, because that's the only thing I had.
Yeah.
Now that my wife has come in, is giving me a perspective of, okay, music should not kill you. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, do it because you love it, do it because you want to honor God, but not at the expense of your home or your marriage.
Yeah.
And I'm learning that, and that's been really good for me as Samuel. Like, because people who are fans of the music might be like, "What do you mean?" Like, it's like, bro, the reality of the situation is, if my wife says, "Hey, bro, I don't know about that weekend," I'm gonna have to consider it, because she's wifey,
I
and
agree with you, man.
it is what it is.
And sometimes guys may not understand, but you're like, listen, I have to protect my home front,
Bro.
That's number one. There's no need for you to be successful in all these other places, and the home front is things are not working out. And
Absolutely.
I know that first, let me say we're looking forward to having you in Nairobi on the 20th.
Thank you,
Speaking
man.
about touring,
Yes,
you'll be in
yes.
Nairobi on the 20th of October for your.
Yes, sir.
It's your first destination for your Africa tour.
First stop. So we're gonna
Dude.
start off with a bang.
Yeah, so I can tell you, man, for sure, the guys in my office are excited to have you around. And what excites you when you think about the tour that you're about to do? You're going to a couple of African countries, different cities. Yeah,
Excites me. I think Africa is just vibrant. You know what I mean? Like whenever I go
Yeah.
home, it's just, oh man, and it's so unpredictable. That's the thing. You just I was talking to one of my friends, and even my manager. I was like, you know what? Because I'm Nigerian, right? And Nigerians are historically late ticket buyers. Like, in fact, not even just Nigerians, Africans.
we have what they call it CPT.
Is it?
Yeah, like in the US, they call it CPT, colored people time.
Bro, the thing is, already the love that we've received on the tickets have been crazy, right?
Yeah.
But I know there are people who are waiting to see me land in
Then
Nairobi.
they buy. Yeah.
Then they buy. But it adds to the beauty, it adds to the humor, it adds to the unpredictability, it adds to the feeling, man. You know, the food. Oh man, like so many times we tour in Europe, and I love Europe, but I'm like, oh more like you guys don't have correct food. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm excited to try so many different cuisines. I'm excited to meet so many different people. Like even not outside of the concert itself. I always say, if I'm in your city and you see me walking around randomly in a shop or in a store, come say hi. That's going to add to my experience. They don't realize how much seeing you or how much me seeing people adds to my personal experience. Like I'm never going to forget that moment. You know, to an extent, there's, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, because I tour a lot and I travel a lot and I do a lot of concerts. I don't remember every moment from that. That's the truth. But I will remember an encounter with someone. So that's why I'm telling people, look, if you see me on the street, if you see me in a shop, in a food store, please come say hi, because you're making my day more than you think, you know, and that's why I'm looking forward to the most. Like I said before, this thing is about the people for me.
Yeah.
If the people are not seeing Christ glorified in my life in a personal way, of course, the public way music is fine. But if people are not seeing Christ glorified in my life in a personal way, then am I really doing ministry? Because Jesus' ministry was a very personal ministry.
Yeah.
Like the beautiful thing about it, he reached out to people where they were. And I always want to be like Jesus. So I'm just like, man, I want to see people. I want to hug people. I want to hold people, pray with people, that kind of thing, you know. And that's what I'm looking forward to most. And I just think it's going to be an awesome experience. The travel will be a lot, but it will be so worth it.
And you know, the good thing is every country is so different. The people are so different.
Facts. That's
Bro,
true.
I think you'll have one of the most amazing times of your life, man, as the tour happens. And, you know, the other thing I'm excited about is you are going to be having one of my friends performing at your gig. That's Manolo. You know, talking about someone who's different. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to his music, but if you can, listen to his album, Karibu.
Yeah.
Bro, for me, it's hands down one of the best albums I've listened to this year.
Wow.
Very well done. And he's a gifted musician as well. So he's really looking forward to the gig. And he's been, like, I go on his socials, man, he's always practicing with his band.
Oh, man.
And because I've known him for a long time, like since he was in high school, and just watching his journey, man, I'm like, he's one of the most solid cats you'll ever get to work with. You know, and someone who's completely, totally sold out to the music ministry that God has called him to do, man.
That's amazing. Yeah, he's an awesome guy. I was at his church last year, actually. City
Lighters. Yes. Yeah.
So I was there last year and I got to meet him. And to be fair, he was so humble, because when he spoke to me, he did not say everything that he was doing. So Manolo, if you're hearing this now, I didn't appreciate that, bro. I did not appreciate that, bro. He did not, bro. Dude was so chill. Dude was just like, hey man, like I'm beaving for you. Let me know if you need anything. And it was people afterwards that were like, yo, you know, like he's cold, right? He's insane. And I'm like,
yeah,
like he didn't say nothing. And and I think you know Shani.
Yeah, I know Shani. Yes,
Shani got to play me a few stuff, because Shani, I was with Shani as well last
was it October
June.
last year?
No, June, because I came with Compassion. Yeah. No, last year.
Yeah.
So I came with Compassion and Shani was there. Sorry, I was in Uganda. Sorry, my bad. I was in Uganda with Shani. And then she was just putting me on to like different Kenyan artists. And I was like, there's a lot happening there. And I just feel like it's untapped almost by us in the Western world. But you guys are enjoying so much music. Like, you know, Chris, and then there's Moji as well. And there's so many cats doing crazy stuff.
That's what's up, man. And I like that you are in tune with what's happening here, man. And you're mentioning the artists, you know, who are definitely at the top of their game. So we're really looking forward to having you here. And
I'm excited.
I do know that one of the things I'm hoping to do is, God willing, as we were saying, when you were here in Nairobi, I'd be very happy to do a one-on-one with you. You know, now we have the cameras rolling and guys can be able to finally see that you're here and hopefully buy more tickets.
Hopefully, do you know what I mean? Like, but no, with that, I know there's people who will wait for the 20th. In fact, 3 p.m. on the 20th. Oh, let me buy a ticket for CalledOut, and that's absolutely okay. Do you know what I mean?
Man. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
That's how we roll. But bro, I just want to wish you, first, let me say, really excited to have you in Nairobi. I really want to wish you a great time when you are here. And for me and for my crew that God has blessed me to work with, as Kubamba, we are, we will help you in any way that we can to be able to make sure that your gig is successful. Yeah.
Thank you, man. That's
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
really, really humbling. Appreciate it. All we're trying to do right now is spread the word. There's 3 weeks to go. So for me, it's because obviously I know the habits of Africa. For me, it's just about putting it in people's faces, as many people's faces as possible. But I know it's going to be awesome. I know it's going to be life-changing for me, and praying that it'll be life-changing for as many people that come in as well. And yeah, I get to see you guys in person.
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be an awesome experience as well. So yes, roll on October. Let's do it.
Absolutely, man. Bro, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. When you were here,
Thank
we'll
you,
talk
man.
more about music, talk about the
Yes.
music industry, the
Absolutely.
business side of it. Like you said, we have a very untapped market here. We get to enjoy it and keep it for ourselves, but then I cannot wait for the day that this music will go beyond our borders to impacting people out there. But bro, thank you so much for taking time and talking to me, man.
Thanks, fam. Appreciate you. See you soon, yeah?
Thank you very much, and God bless, bro.
All right, bro. Bless.
Take care, bye.